Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Welcome back to another podcast. I just started recording this and my my microphone wasn't even plugged in. I was thinking I need to start out the podcast with a different something. I don't know, but welcome back is just what comes out. So we're going to just stick with that today. Today I want to answer another question that was sent in, or kind of another question, but yet help. Like, how do I do this? And so the question is about Pinterest. Does anybody love Pinterest? Are you on Pinterest? How often are you on Pinterest? I will leave a link to my Pinterest account in the show notes, but so follow me over there. I would love to pin along with you. Pinterest, I laugh because before Pinterest came along, I was one of those people that, oh my goodness, I've talked about organization here on the podcast and just me being OCD about certain things and loving to organize, and just, that has just always been my jam. I swear it's like some kind of control thing, right? Like if I'm stressed out, I can clean and organize like nobody's business. Like those are two things. If I'm stressed out or just worried about something, some people work out, some people, I don't know, they do other things. They go shopping, they spend money. Me, I like to clean and I like to organize. So, back in the day, like even when I was still living at home with my parents, and, I used to have binders full of ideas that I found. So I would clip from magazines, newspapers, whatever I found, and I would have different binders that were, it was, I would have recipe binders, but yet I would have recipes for party binders. Like I would have, like it wasn't just all recipes, right? Everything was like organized in its own little binder. I had the plastic sleeves. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then I would have tabs in the binders, right? So like I could, easily find the things. Okay. Yeah, it was an issue, but I loved those binders. And if I found something, so I've always just, I think, been drawn to finding inspiration or, something that sparks an idea, I would cut it out and I would put it in my binders, right? Organized all on a shelf. And then Pinterest came along and it was like, wait, what is this? And I can't remember who introduced me to it. And it was like, oh my goodness, I don't have to, first of all, house all these binders anymore. I can just kind of get on a computer and these ideas and recipes and whatever will just be kind of stored on my computer. And it was kind of like it was amazing. It has definitely changed over the years since I first, was on Pinterest. Just like all of these, platforms, what have you, have changed. Pinterest is a search engine, so it is not a social media channel. It is not a social media platform. It is a place people go, like YouTube or Google, and search for something, a homemade meatball recipe. Where that came from, I don't know. It's getting close to dinner time. I'm not recording this in the morning. What is going on? So it is a search engine. You go there to search for ideas or, recipes or whatever it is. It is not a social media platform. So the question I got was, I need tips for finding inspiration on Pinterest. Like, what are some things I should be doing? How should I use Pinterest? And so today I'm just going to share 5 easy tips for finding inspiration on Pinterest. Definitely, if you're not on, I know most everybody listening to this is either using Pinterest, maybe you don't have your own account, but you definitely know what Pinterest is. If not, go check it out. You'll just get lost for a few hours. But here are some things that I like to do when I'm on Pinterest. Now, for me, I definitely pin things for my personal use, but I am also using Pinterest for my business. And if you are somebody that has a business, you need to be on Pinterest. But I'm not going to go over all the business side of it today. If that's something you'd like me to go into a little bit, definitely let me know. Reach out to me, Lindsay@mycreativedays.com, and I can definitely touch on that. I do help. I have a private community of furniture flippers where I am helping them, coaching them monthly on business, techniques and things that they should do. And that is something that, that we have touched on in the past, and just, gone in depth into Pinterest training and how they should be doing it, how they can use it for their business to make more money and all of that. So if you are running any kind of business, your business should be on Pinterest. People are searching Pinterest for things. So, definitely add that to your list of things that you should be doing for your business. So, okay, I just kind of took a hard left there. But one of the things you need to remember on Pinterest, because it is a search engine, are the keywords, right? And so if you go to Pinterest and you want to search, let's say you have a dresser you want to paint. So you want to search painted dresser. So you want to use keywords that are specific, but yet you want to change your keywords up. So if you put in there painted dresser and you're just not finding anything, change up what you're using, right? So change up. I mean, dresser is pretty, a dresser is a dresser, but some people call it a chest of drawers. Some people call, is an entry a mudroom? Well, it could be. Some people could, categorize it as a mudroom and not call it an entry. So if you're looking for entry inspiration or a mudroom inspiration, just change up your words that you're searching for, especially if you're not really finding anything or nothing's really clicking. And as a side note, this is kind of an extra little tip. Sometimes Pinterest is like me when I have like a creative block, like sometimes nothing looks right. Nothing looks like I'm not getting inspired by anything I see. Turn it off, like walk away from it. It's just like anything. Take a break, and then come back to it. And you'll find that just having that break is, helps a lot. So, but definitely change up your keywords. Think about other words that people could call the thing that you're looking for. Right now we're at Christmas time, but it could be, so you're searching for something for Christmas. It could also be a holiday something, just change up your keywords. I'm constantly in that search bar, just changing up the wording a little bit just to see if there's something else that maybe sparks what I'm actually looking for, just to give me an idea. Along with the search bar, when you are inside Pinterest, this is kind of a tip that helps me, narrow it down even more. So if you are I'm going to do this while I am recording this. You are in Pinterest, you're up at the search bar and you type in dresser. I'm just going to do dresser makeover. There will be like a drop down, there's kind of like drop down ideas. I'm things that you can click on that kind of help you. Hang on one second. This is not working for me because I'm in the wrong. Oh my gosh, I was in the wrong account. Sorry. So it's when you go to in the search bar and you put in dresser makeover, that's just what I'm doing for today. Right underneath that, it gives you these, they're on my screen right now. Now I know these change all the time. So depending on when you're listening to this could look different. But right underneath that search bar where I put dresser makeover, there are different colored little subheadings or subtopics that could go with a dresser makeover. So one of them is DIY, IKEA, French provincial, antique, old, vintage, boho, tall, Tarva, IKEA. I don't even know what that word is. Green, MCM, waterfall, right? So mid-century modern. So all these extra things, it kind of gives you different ideas. Okay, you're looking for a dresser makeover, but are you looking for an antique dresser makeover? Are you looking for do you have an IKEA dresser that you want to make over? Is it a tall dresser that you're looking for inspiration for? Is it a mid-century modern that you're looking? It's just kind of an extra little tool that Pinterest provides right there after you've used the search bar. So look into that. So I use that a lot. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm looking for, but I know I need to make over this dresser. I know I want to paint my kitchen cabinets. but I don't know, what else. And then sometimes these like subheadings, that's what I'm calling them, but that's not what it is. But these subtopics kind of help narrow it down a little bit more. Oh, it is an antique dresser. Yeah, let me click on that because that, might look a little bit better I'm just looking at this right now. That might give me a better idea about what I should do with this dresser. On one of these subtopics, it is actually one of my dresser makeovers. So I was just looking at that like, wait a minute, is that mine? It is. So they have like Craftsman, Americana, Art Deco, Farmhouse. Like they just have all these, little subtopics. So definitely look at those. Especially if you're just kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. It just kind of helps you narrow it down a little bit. Okay. Another thing I love to do, and this is one thing I use both personally and for my business. So if I am just on my regular, I just go to the home feed or just to Pinterest.com, right? And I'm scrolling through, I haven't looked for a subject or I haven't put anything in the search bar. And I find something that catches my eye. So right now, like I said, when I'm filming this, it's Christmas. So right now, as I look at it, there's so much Christmas on Pinterest. And so maybe it's a living room that's decorated for Christmas that it catches my eye. So when I click on that one, it'll bring it up. So it's like kind of bigger. And that's like your main thing. It's going to tell you where this pin's from and, a little blurb about it. But what I love to do, so if I love that, I will then scroll down. So after you click on that first pin that you see, like on the main, wherever you are, you click on a pin, it brings it up bigger. It kind of takes up your whole screen. Scroll down and you are going to see similar pins to what you just clicked on. This is it's so funny. It's just kind of something that, I'm scheduling stuff on all of my platforms. And so I am on Pinterest a lot, but this is something that I just learned. I don't know what it is, but it just helps you kind of find more things like that. It kind of pinpoints what you like about that, right? Because as you scroll down and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, and that. Oh, and that kitchen. Oh, wait, but it kind of is cohesive. It kind of has a theme. It just kind of digs a little deeper into something that you pinned on, and you can just kind of go down, and I guarantee you'll find at least one, if not many more pins or ideas underneath that main one you clicked on that'll just resonate with you. So I do that a lot. For as far as, I talked about earlier, I organized all of my little binders back in the day. Same goes with Pinterest. So if you're using Pinterest for business or, just for your personal use, whatever it is, you want it to be organized. So when you're setting up your boards, so for those that may not know Pinterest, you'll have all these little pictures on Pinterest, and then you can pin them to different boards, right? So you want to keep that organized. You want your boards to be organized. And you definitely want them to be specific. So, because that's just going to help you be organized. So instead of saying pretty kitchens, right? Like you could have all kinds of styles, all kinds of designs, all kinds of everything under pretty kitchen. But if you have, white kitchen, minimal white kitchen, I am so throwing things out here right now. But just the more specific you can be, then when you are pinning things, okay, that definitely goes into that board. Whereas, pretty kitchens is just so general and it's just not going to be organized. It's going to be a hot mess when you want to go back and refer to it. It's just going to be jumbled. It's not going to really have a story. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to have a cohesive look. And especially for somebody that is looking to like decorate their home or find their style, you definitely want to make it not as confusing, right? So under pretty kitchens, if you have, 14 different styles, that's not going to help you, right? Because I do often tell people, look at what you're pinning. What are you seeing over and over on your boards, the pins that you're pinning? Is it always green cabinets that you're just drawn to, you're finding? Is it always a white kitchen that you're always, as you go through your pins and your boards, are you just seeing white kitchens being pinned? Okay, you're drawn to that, right? But if you just, if your boards are not very organized or not very specific, it's just going to be a jumbled mess and it's not going to help you at all. So make sure your boards are specific. And you do want to narrow them down. So pretty kitchens is not a good idea. But like, if it's, I say like throw in a color. If you know there's a color that you like, you can throw in a color, you can throw in a style, you can throw in a, whatever, but just don't make it general. Try and be as specific as you can with each board name that you're pinning to. And same with like when you create your board, there's a description part. Fill that out with some good keywords and some things that that describe what that board is for you, so that you can go back and say, okay, I like white country style kitchens, and then read your description. If you're like, okay, this was what I liked about them, or whatever, that you put in your description, that just helps you know what that board's about and keeps it organized and you organized as you're pinning on Pinterest. Another thing that I think a lot of people and I find myself sometimes doing this, I'll get on Pinterest and I'm just browsing the whole time. It's like I'm not even pinning anything. Pinterest has made it, like I said, it has changed over the years. And so they've made it so simple when you are on, just like the main feed or whatever on Pinterest and you're scrolling around. If you hover your mouse over, you can do this on your phone too, but I'm at my desktop right now as I record this, but if you hover your mouse right over any of the pins, your boards, there's a little arrow. You can just scroll, hit it and then find the boards that you have and then save it right there to your boards. I mean, they make it so simple, but sometimes I find myself, I'm just browsing and browsing. It's like pin the things that I love. Sometimes I'm just browsing and I don't understand and I don't know why I'm doing that sometimes. But use Pinterest. That's what you're there for. Pin the things you like and only pin the things you like. You want to kind of keep it so it's not, you don't have just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, all on your boards. You really want to be specific about what you're pinning, but and keep it all organized and pretty and to the point, and just it's not going to be confusing if you keep it that way. So those are just a few tips on how I use Pinterest, how I find different pins, how I find inspiration, how I keep it kind of organized. You need to be on Pinterest. If you're just doing it for yourself, it's just fun. It's like having a different magazine every hour that you get on there. It's like, it's just so much fun. And it makes you, Pinterest is a great place to go when you're just looking for ideas. So sometimes when I'm not pinning, I will just scroll through Pinterest like I would a magazine, like I'm flipping through pages. I look at all the pretty pictures. If something draws my attention, I pin it. But if I'm drawn to, there may be a picture, again, I'm looking at these Christmas decorations. There may be something off in the corner or off in, the distance that I'm really drawn to, or I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I could DIY that. I could make one of those, or it's like having a new magazine every time you get on it. So definitely, if you're not on there often, definitely look into it. It's not social media. So it's a nice break from that. It's a great place to find tons of inspiration and tons of ideas. And but yet I know people get a little bit overwhelmed and people will say it's not Pinterest worthy. No, not life isn't. But it's definitely a place to get some ideas for some different occasions or holidays or decorating or furniture flips, whatever it may be. It's a good place to kind of just get a ton of ideas. I just think it's a lot of fun. So I love these questions or these how-to or these whatever. I love these for the podcast. Please keep sending them in. You can email them to me at lindsay@mycreativedays.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram @mycreativedays with ideas and questions. I love each and every one of them. It helps me, plan content here for the podcast and other places. So definitely keep them coming. After you listen to this, go on to Pinterest and just see kind of the things that I talked about today. I think it'll help you when you're over there just kind of browsing around, but definitely get on Pinterest. It's a lot of fun. But don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed because it can be overwhelming too. So, all right, that's it. I will talk to you guys very soon. Have a great day. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I am grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.